To Tavern Chat, talking crit special edition Wednesday night. Woo!
Special
I want
post-holiday version. Special
yeah,
host post-holiday.
I want like flashing lights behind me. Is what I need. Um, I am Eric Tenkar, one of your hosts, and with me is none other than my once a week work spouse, Bad Mike Bottolato.
Look at that cool background you have now. That is
I
awesome.
know, isn't it? And that's the action.
Mm.
When you watch this live on Saturday night with Rachel and I, that is what's behind Rachel's shoulder, in the corner. So I'm gonna move stuff around on that because I got other stuff that I want to highlight. But yeah, actually, you know what's interesting? I don't know if you notice, just to stage left, well, like I can't
Mm-hmm.
point.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on, right here.
Oh,
There is
okay.
a
Over there.
Star Frontiers book. That's a very limited edition.
Is that the Star Frontiers
That
book that
that's
had
the
the limited
Czar.
cover? The limited
That's
cover
the
version.
Czar Frontiers before it became Czar Frontiers.
Mm.
The first, I don't know, couple of days, it was Star Frontiers. So
That was hilarious too. That I have a copy. It has the second cover. And dang it, that is worth the price of admission. Let me tell you,
Oh my God,
it's some
it's
funny stuff.
well done. Parody at parody's best.
So we do not have a guest again tonight. We're running a little light on guests for this time. But we're going to grab some people. We have Keelan Halverson and Ryan um, George. Oh God, what last name? Ryan. You know what I'm talking about.
I do, but I don't.
How come I can't remember his
I mean, I
name?
don't know. I
can't
don't know
remember
his
his
last name, so I mean, but I'm horrible with names.
Oh my God, I apologize to Ryan. Ryan. I am going to get this. I am sorry, Ryan. Ryan
Do I need to
Howard.
go?
Ryan Howard.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was
Ryan
about to say, do I need
Ryan
to go back
Ryan
to
Howard.
Facebook?
And they're going to be two really fun, creative guys. Ryan does his own stream. Keelan's a great young artist. He's a guest in North Texas last few years. They're going to be talking about something they're coming out with, and they're both really cool dudes. So that's the weekend or the week before Christmas. And so we'll try to find somebody to fit in the next couple of weeks. I don't want you guys to have to look at us and listen to us drone on for the next few weeks. I mean, as interesting as I think we are. I mean, I know, you know.
I mean, I could go. I could go through that whole display desk behind. I could
Oh
spend the
my
whole
gosh.
time going back and forth. By the way, that is the whole set of the largest mega dungeon ever, and I actually have it in print. That's thanks to my many supporters that shop through the drive-through RPG links. So
Nice.
Arduin wall.
When I get my office done next year, I will have a wonderful background. So we'll when and if, well, actually not if, when that happens, it's gonna be a long, arduous journey. But yes, I won't be in this upstairs little pocket universe I'm in.
Is this the pocket universe of Mike Battolato? Oh,
I have a small pocket universe with a mini fridge and artwork on that slapped up on the back walls there. But I'll have a proper background of a bookcase and display items and all that fun stuff. So this week we're gonna I want to show you some of the Black Friday deals I got that are D&D related because
make us cry, man. Make us cry.
I got turned on to this by somebody who posted about it. They gave me a little heads up, and I was like, these prices are too good to be believed, and so I had to lay out for this stuff, and then we'll talk about a few other stuff and things going on in the industry. Eric's got some stories I haven't heard yet. But yeah, I've got a couple things I want to share about WotC's new proclamation about Rule Zero.
Yes, please do. I got some not a lot of pushback, but I got some pushback on that. And then it's like, oh no. Rach, by the way, had the best insights into that change. And she's like, is it about disempowering game masters and DMs? Because they don't want DMs in the future. They want AI, and they want the players to all be spending the money.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit.
Just call her Sherlock Holmes because, yeah, we'll talk about that. But I'm going to show. First of all, I'm going to show. So this is weird because I was on Friday with you and Rob Conley. We had a blast, by the way. It was so much fun. The other slackers that usually come on your channel weren't there. Who knows? Who knows what they were doing? Who knows?
They were suffering from Black Fridayisms.
Yeah, they were not there, but we had a blast Friday. So as I was there, I was shopping because somebody said, "Hey, have you checked out GameStop's?" So GameStop for years has done a lot of WotC exclusives, like Funko Pops and different tchotchke type things. Really, some better than others, some interesting, some not so much. But they went all in on the D&D movie. They went, okay, we're going to do everything you can imagine the D&D logo on there, and we're going to come out with all kinds of miniatures and Funko Pops and all kinds of little cool things. And so, of course, they're stuck with them now. Here we are, 8 months later, 6 months later, and they can't get rid of them. So what are they going to do? They're going to have a Black Friday sale. And so somebody said, you need to check these out because these are worth getting just because they're so dirt cheap, so I did. So I'm going to show you some of the things I loaded up on. Now, when I say I bought them, I bought multiple copies because a lot of these make great gifts. And I'm not getting paid obviously not getting paid by GameStop. Very obviously not getting paid by GameStop. We would be doing much better. But these are good deals. These were good deals. Now they had a buy one get two free deal that is no longer in effect. That was Black Friday only. But Eric and I just checked, and some of the cheap prices, the really discount prices, are still in effect. Yeah. So one of the items I don't have with me, there is a 1-cup coffee maker. I can't post the link. But
hold on a second. Let me get the. I'm going to actually go to the page of it.
I thought I brought it up here, and I'm looking, and I can't see.
I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it.
So this is an unbeatable price. $5.69 for a 1-cup. Now, even if you don't care, it says D&D. It's a 1-cup coffee maker. $5.69. That's the mug and the thing. This is the kind of thing that I look at now, and I think in about 5 or 6 years, people are going to pay $50 for these. Because they're going to be like, oh, by the way, this is my speculating collecting 101. I've been doing this since 1994, buy, sell, trade, and online game stuff. So I know what I'm talking about when I say when you're looking for stuff that might be worth something in the future, look for things that nobody cares about now, because that's the kind of stuff that's worth a lot. The popular stuff isn't, because it's popular. They're making this is the kind of stuff that you like. Remember when KB Toys had that big sell-off, Eric, in the late 80s, early 90s, and they were selling like Spelljammer box sets for like $5 and Miss Star stuff for $5.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
By the way, Peter, don't blow up anybody's spot, man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. No.
Yeah. Luke, please, if you can hear this, we would love your blood money. Please give us your blood money.
Oh, just your blood. Just give us your blood. I'll take your blood. I can sell a few pints.
He's doing shoes now. We'll have him on talk about his shoes someday. He's got his shoe empire.
Oh my God! Oh, listen.
Oh boy,
I can't talk about those shoes with a straight face. I'm sorry, I can't.
Dude, I want a pair of them. I do want a pair. So anyway, $5.69 for a coffee maker. I bought multiples of these because I figured these are good presents to give away to gamers. They're good things to put in the midnight auction, to put in the raffle, whatever. So good. So these are still on sale. Some of the Black Friday sales are no longer in effect. This one is still in effect. The $5.69. But I also got this little cool number. I got several copies of these. This is the kind of thing you can give away. Also, these are okay. So this is a 12-sided dice. But it's got a lighter in there that changes color. It goes from red to blue to green to purple back to white again. So you see it's changing color right now. Ooh, Let me turn the lights off for a second. Yeah, it's really creepy. Now it's green. Whoa. What color is it going to be next? I don't know. Oh, it's blue now. And you just set it on your desk, and then there's a button you can push here, and it'll stop changing color. So
it's a D12 though, right? I mean,
it's a D12. I don't know why.
You think, why? D20 is, and it's like, oh no, the numbers aren't big enough on that D20. Make it a D12.
And so, button we push there that stops. It takes a couple. So these were like $8, I mean, and they're regularly about, I don't know, $15, $20 or whatever. I got a few of these because I'm like, shoot, $8. You know, I mean, come on, I can. So this is another good deal. I got a few of those funky dice. These were on sale. These are they come out with chalice. Now chalice is something they do a lot of. They've done a chalice like every 2 or 3 years. They do a drinking chalice, and what it is it's ceramic. And why do I know it's ceramic? Because I dropped this one and broke it in half, but I've glued it back together.
Oh, nice.
So I know it's ceramic, but it's got a steel cup in here that actually comes out and you can wash it. But I told Eric, I'm saving this for a special occasion. When a certain someone is defeated, I'm going to drink the blood of my enemies out of this cup. I'm going to fill it with whiskey and down this baby during a show. I have a
Viking drinking horn. I think I'll break that one out.
Yes. So I will drink the blood of my enemies out of this skull when my enemies are defeated. Wink, wink. You know who that? If you know who that is, those were buy one get two free, which is pretty cool. This is the creme de la creme, though. This is the one I saw this and I wanted. This is the one I really wanted, and this is the.
That is so beautiful.
The Idle Dice Tower. It's very, very hefty, very hefty. And here's the cool thing about it. Okay, the little fire lights up. Anyway, you take his little head off up here, and there's a hole, and it comes. And let me tell you, that dice shoot out of there. It shoots out. It's like Friday After Poncho's Mexican deal. I mean, it's just like.
Now,
it shoots out.
Are we like a PG show because it really like shoots out of the
pretty much. Oh, hey, and it shoots out like you've had bad.
Actually, that wouldn't be a penis. I got the wrong gender wrong. I'm sorry.
No, you did.
In any case,
it's a demon idol. So these are nice. They're hefty. I'm probably not going to use it because I actually have a pretty good dice roller at home, but I think it looks cool, and I will probably bring it to the commit. I'll probably bring it to North Texas and use it at North Texas for my dice tower. Those were buy one get two free. I did notice they were running out of some of those on Black Friday, but Eric and I just looked, and I think they have all those still. But now they're now they're just discounted. They're just discounted now. They're
right. I don't think the price was that deep. I mean, that's a good looking piece. Don't get me wrong, but that's originally $50 going for $40. But you can save $5. And here's what they get you: orders $40 plus. You can save $5 picking it up in the store, but it's $39.98.
See, now that's so. I was just telling Eric, if you could get your local GameStop and you get $40 worth of stuff, you basically get the coffee mug free because that's $5.89. Because if you go in the store and if you order it, you go in the store, pick it up. Those are like $5.89, so you get those for free. Anyway, that I don't do Black Friday. But those sales were. Those were some deep discounts. Like I said, now everything's the dice are still cheap. The coffee maker is still cheap. Unfortunately, everything else is not as cheap. But there were some deep discounts there. They also had some metal miniature figures. I got some of those in store. They had some Funko Pops of the D&D characters from the movie. They had some little. They had a bunch of look. I'm just saying, check out your local GameStop and go to the discount aisle or the clearance aisle. Because sometimes these I know these GameStops will even deep discount more than the deep discount, right? Because they just want it off their shelves, and they'll be like, they'll have a handwritten price on there, or they'll have a hand stamped, $5. Right. Get rid of this piece of crap.
I worked retail for 8.5 years, and I used to deal with the buyers, the ones that did the corporate buying for, the whole department store. Uh-huh. And I especially when it came to clothing, I was trying to figure out how product that we bought for $8 we sold for $24, but when we were clearing it out, we were selling it for $4 and we were still making a profit. And I was like, explain the math. And they go, once we make back our cost on the initial sales, everything else is pure profit.
Yeah, it's the markup on those initial sales. Price,
we've already made the profit.
Stuff. Yeah, and there's also the what they call inventory costs, which is it costs more to store it than just to get rid of it. They really just get it off the books and get it out of there. They'd have to store it. We had that's when I worked at a music store in the late 80s, early 90s, and we had a vinyl sell off towards the end because trying to get rid of all our vinyl.
Oh yeah,
and vinyl was $1. I mean, and vinyl was on the way back too, which is wild. But all our vinyl, they would ship us giant boxes, and we put it out there, and everything was $1 because they just didn't want to store it anymore. Man, I can't tell you the deals I picked up. I mean, for the albums I picked up for $1. Now, a lot of it was garbage, absolutely stinking garbage. But there was some really, really nice vinyl in there. Even back then, I was looking for collectible stuff, and I had a couple price guides for vinyl, and I would pick up some really nice, like old jazz and blues things that stuff that they didn't know was really worth anything. So they stuck $1 in there, and I'm looking up at the price guide. They're like $40 each. I'm like, oh, I'll buy these. I did sell a lot of them years later to a friend of mine that was really into blues music because as we know, vinyl is back and hot again.
It sounds better than digital.
It's hot again, yes. And some of that vinyl never made it to CD, and so anyway. If you want to buy some fun little presents, check out your local GameStop. Oh, what is this?
This actually I got on Temu. It was like $4 and change. It's a little dragon mug.
It looks like the same thing. It's got like a little steel, thing you take out and wash.
It's like it's plastic. It's not. I could bounce this off my floor. I'm sure it would probably bounce. Maybe it would slightly chip or dent.
Oh, Bob G says coffee makers just sold out. Ouch.
Wow, we did it. We did it.
Okay, I think that was honestly though to my mind that and the dice are the best deals there. The dice they probably still have the dice.
I would have gotten for the mug. That was it. And I got this little dragon statue, which I'm going to put in the front yard. I think that was also like $5. And I also got it's in the bedroom right now. I got a dragon fleece blanket. About 4 foot by 6 foot. It was less than $10. So if you go, listen,
these weren't Dungeons and Dragons.
No, I know these are just dragons. I could put it on my shoulder, and it could be like my familiar, and then it fades away.
That's sweet. That is sweet. Okay.
All right.
Anyway, so that was while I was doing the show with you and Rob, I was cheating on you on the side. As I went to the GameStop site, and it was buying up everything in all the stores around me. I was looking at all the ones around me, trying to find cheap stuff. And so, yes, I was cheating on you and Rob during the show. I was doing my own thing too, but yeah, I was pretty happy with this. Like I said, I'm gonna keep one copy of all these for myself, but the rest I'm gonna put in the vault, and then I'll pull out in a few years, and we'll see if it's worth anything. It's not. I paid so little for it, I'll bring it to North Texas and sell it in North Texas, or we'll put it in the raffle, or we'll do something fun with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my Black, and I don't do Black Friday because honestly, there's really not deals anymore. I saw some Cyber Monday deals, and I was just laughing because it's like 20% off. Is that a deal? That's not a deal. Something 20. I saw a lot of stuff that I was interested in. Like I wanted to get somebody said that, hey, air tags are on sale, man. Apple air tags are never on sale. You need to check these out. I know you wanted some, Mike. Right. So I go check it. They're on sale. They're 20% off.
For Apple stuff,
this was they said, well, Apple never goes on sale.
For what it's worth.
Apple never goes on sale. They said, but it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. When you say something is on sale on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I'm thinking minimum half off. I want half off or better. I want a good deep discount, a good deal. Don't give me this 15%, 10%, $5 off bullshit. And I saw a lot of that. I don't know if the retailers are just being stingy now because of the recession or what, but I saw a lot of really crap another one. So I lost my AirPods about a year ago. I wanted to get another pair of AirPods. Well, they had the kind that I like was on there, $10 off. I'm like,
you're not going to get. You don't get
instead of $89, there's $79. I'm like, okay, that's barely 10% off. I mean, I'm like, nah, I'll wait. I'm really not that interested in. I want a deep deal discount for my Cyber Monday / Black Friday deal. Otherwise, I'm not doing. I'm just walking away. I'm just going to say you keep it.
I want bigger discounts. I didn't do much Black Friday shopping at all. Just there was nothing I was really looking for. Yes, R-un, I am green screening my bookshelf, and I'm going to probably rearrange it so I can, like, every couple of weeks it'll be like new
Oh,
stuff.
cool! Very cool.
You know, because this is the stuff that was on it. Yeah, and there's like a black box TNT there, which is pretty cool. Yes, that is the first print of, or on the print on demand, Czar Frontiers before it became Czar Frontiers.
Oh, yes.
The complete Arduin Grimoire. I gotta move my head out of the way. That
I
top
love
secret,
I like the mugs and stuff. Those are cool.
yeah, the top secret box is going to be given away for OSR Christmas.
Oh, nice.
I'm assuming, David, when you're referring to the demon, that you're referring to the far left on the screen, and that would be Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Rocket Raccoon, you know, and Doctor Strange. So I'm gonna, I got other stuff. I'm trying to duck. There's
Oh, by the way, another. So I saw another Black Friday deal. I was really interested. They have ice makers now, portable ice makers, and this one makes the little pebble ice that everybody loves.
Yeah,
I thought very cool. $300 but it's marked down from $338. I'm like,
yeah, no,
I can't spend $300 on a little tiny ice maker that I bring, so I can bring one on the road and have little pebble ice. That's just not gonna do it. Sorry.
So, yeah, but now this year for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, drive-through did something that I hadn't seen them do before. They did blockbusters or doorbusters, whatever, but they had 3 pages of it, and you randomly got a page whenever you refresh the page. So I figured out how they did that.
Oh, that's interesting. Kind of interesting. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, 3 times the doorbusters just using the same. That's interesting. Because I saw interesting doorbusters, and I came back. I go, like, hey, where's it? Changed on me, and then I went, I see what they did. I can understand. Bob, you wanted? I'm sorry you missed out on the coffee maker. I
knew they were really low on those. Now, okay, so what you might do is, this is what I did for the coffee makers, because somebody said they were selling out at the main site. Go to the individual stores. Go to GameStop, pull it up. It'll tell you all the ones in your area. You can go to each GameStop and see what they have on the shelves at that time, right? Because nowadays everything's automated. They tell you what's on the shelf, and you might find a local one. There may not be any to order through the regular store, but you might be able to order one through the store itself. Just order it through the store and then tell them you're going to come pick it up. And then if you get more, when you get there, if you get more than $40 of stuff, you get $5 off. So
okay, so the dice roller is on GameStop, David. That's like $50, $40.
Yeah, it's on sale. It's $50 regularly. I think it's $40 on the site.
Hold on, let me see if I can.
But yeah, definitely check your local GameStop to see what they have on the shelf. And like I said, you can do that online. Everything's automated online. You do it online, and then that way you'll save you a trip, and you might get lucky. Something that's sold out in the main store, the main warehouse, whatever, might have some. So they also have some. I thought their dice sets are really nice. They had some nice dice sets. That they were a little too pricey for me. They were like, I don't know, $50 They were marked out a little bit, but not enough. And here's a trick everybody uses, right? They'll go like, okay, well, hey, our special product here is 20% off. What they don't tell you is they marked it up, 15% the week before. And so you're not really getting a deal because it was $50 2 weeks ago, and now they're just marking it down. So yeah, be careful about deals that aren't really deals,
Top Secret SI is the box set right behind Doctor Strange. And Solarian Games are the publishers of it. They sent that to me earlier in the year, and I held on to it for OSR Christmas, so we shall give it away for OSR Christmas. Noel Rasmussen also designed this edition.
Terry says, "What's the quality like of the coffee maker?" it's about like if you've been in a hotel room lately, all the hotel rooms now have 1-cup coffee makers. It's about that quality, whatever coffee. So not great. They're about a $20. It's like a $20 coffee maker. It's nothing to write home about. I just got it because it says D&D on it. It was $5.
It comes with a mug. I mean, I would probably keep it.
Yeah, the mug itself. The mug has D&D on it, Dungeons and Dragons on it. So, and then so. I got it for speculative purposes, see if they're worth anything. Someday I'll pull them out in about 4 or 5 years and go, hey, man, remember these D&D coffee makers that nobody wanted? Well, here, they're $50 now because nobody has them and everybody wants them. So yeah, that's I'm looking at this I'm a mercenary. What can I say? I'm looking at mercenary means here. I want to make some extra money off really cheap stuff. So.
Oh, God bless you. Why not?
Put the coffee maker in the Hobby Museum and boost the sell price by 50%.
This was Gary Gygax's original coffee maker.
Yes, and we found a letter. We found a letter upstairs that says this was the original coffee maker that he drank coffee from as he wrote the player's handbook. And
he even urinated in it one night late at night when he couldn't get to the bathroom in time because Jim Ward was in the bathroom and occupying, so he had to use the coffee cup. So that could be yours, guaranteed. Letter of authenticity from Ken Whitman coming with it. Ken's got experience. All right.
So anyway, yes, buy the coffee that Gary sucked coffee bean juice from while he was making.
Ooh. You don't make that sound very appealing, Mike.
You could find. I'm surprised there hasn't been all kinds of letters found. Here's the pencil he used to write. The DMG manuscript with. We found the pencil. Here's the typewriter. I mean, why don't we can just find all kinds of things. And just start saying that these were Gary's. And we found a letter that says it's true. We found a letter, man.
These pencil eraser shavings were the corrections that were made on Dave Arneson's Blackmore, which actually
so you laugh at some of this stuff. Now let me tell you a true story. This is a friend of a friend. Their parents, so they're a little older than me. They're a little older than me, and they had a chance to go see the Beatles when they were in Dallas, and their parents would not allow them to. Said, nope, that's devil music. You can't go hear it. And so a friend of the family said, hey, I think I can your parents will let you see them, but I think I can get you a meet and greet with them because I know what plane they're coming. They worked at the airport. This is back in the days before 9/11, all that stuff. This is 65, 66. I can get you out in the plane. And when they're coming off the plane, you can say hi to them. Just say hi, whatever, shake their hands, whatever. So whatever, they get out there and the Beatles have already left the plane. And so they go, well, the guy basically said, go in there and see if you can find any souvenirs, see if you can find something, so they're walking up down the aisles really dejectedly. So what they found was they found some hand towels and some face towels, and they had wiped off makeup or something. So their sweat were on these towels. Ringo,
DNA.
Paul, George, and John, their DNA were on these. And so having nothing better to grab, they grabbed the magazines because they've been reading the magazines. So they touched the magazines, right?
Right.
And then they grabbed the hand towels and the face towels, which I think are still in a bag somewhere in an attic somewhere. So and I think they may have inquired at some point if these are actually worth anything. But I don't. The provenance is weird, right? I mean,
yeah.
We pulled these off the plane with the Beatles there. You'd have to do a DNA test. So, I guess you could ask Ringo if he's willing to spit in a cup and then do the DNA off the towel and see, So maybe some really, really big Beatles fan might be interested, but they mainly just keep them to show people because it's kind of fun to show people here's a hand towel that they wipe their hands off with. So, you never know though. I don't know. Maybe someday in the future, that'll be like the Shroud of Turin or something,
Oh God. Shroud of Turin. Oh.
Towel of Paul McCartney. He wiped his face on this.
Gabby Gygax used this very toilet. It's the same broken seat that we had here initially. James Raggy is in the room. James, welcome.
Hey, James, great to see you. Oh my gosh, 3:30 a.m. here. Well, James, we got to meet him in person this year. That was awesome.
Yes.
Eric and I. He was at North Texas, so that was a high point. And I'm still kicking myself because I got James to sign absolutely nothing. I didn't bring anything to sign the whole weekend. But yeah, so James, awesome dude. Thanks for showing up, James. That's wild and crazy. Well, so since Jay in respect for James, we're going to cover a controversial subject here. So what did you have? You had something and I had something.
Let's go with what you got, man.
Well, all I have is so this is just going to be real short and sweet, and then we can talk about it. This is the and you might even have this quote. I'm looking for the exact quote here.
Oh, wait, are we talking about the one from the new Peril in Pinebrook?
Yes, the one that says the new rule zero. The new rule zero.
Right, hold on. I got
Watsy is trying to peddle. So Watsy is trying to peddle this as this is the new rule zero that you need to do if you want to play D&D. And okay, obviously, whatever Watsy says, you can take it or leave it, which most people nowadays are leaving it. They're not taking it. But I'm just saying this is still the official position of the company when it comes to gaming.
Hold on, and I'm going to zoom in.
There's ulterior motives galore here in this, and that's the first thing I saw when I just started laughing because your wife said exactly what I thought, Eric, because it's so obvious what the game plan is here with this new rule zero. Eric is pulling it up right now. There we go. I can't see. Can you read it?
I will do it. Rule zero of D&D is simple. Have fun. It's fine if everyone agrees to change the rules, as long as doing so means the game is more fun for everyone.
Mm-hmm. So I see this. So here's the deal. First of all, a lot of people screamed and cried and yelled and said, "Oh my God, okay, I want to get this out of the way first." And I'm a big proponent for this. Your game is your game.
Yeah.
James says, "I hate fun." Your game is your game. So, people like Eric and I, we haven't paid attention to what Watsy said for, 15 years. I don't care what they're doing over there. I run OSR style games. I still run, my home campaign is 2E. We use OSR. I'm running Greg Gillespie's Draw Deep. I mean, whatever. Watsy can do whatever they want at this point. I'm not their customer. I don't spend money on their product. I don't buy anything of theirs, whatever. So I'm not their customer. Now, a lot of people are their customer, though. And a lot of people are influenced by what they say because they have Adventures League, for example. Adventures League is pretty much you run the game like we tell you to run the game, or you can't run the game, right? I mean, it's very strict about what you can and can't do in Adventures League. So I saw this rule, and the first thing I thought is, they want to undermine the Dungeon Master. Because why? What did your wife say, Eric?
My wife said, Ray said, and this was, it wasn't even when I did the initial video. It's when I was talking about Mike Carr and his forward from the DMG, and he was talking about the authority and the responsibility of being the DM. And Rach goes, "Well, isn't a whole Rule Zero thing about taking away the authority of the DM, basically neutering him, because they want AI to take over the DM?
Sure.
So everybody spends money, not just the DM.
They want to. So look, like I said, you can play however you want, and you probably shouldn't care what Watsy does. But this is very telling about what they think the future of the game is about. What they think the future game about is you're not. They don't want you to they don't want you to respect the DM or care about the DM or worry about what the DM thinks. That's why the rule is, hey, if all the group gets together, so the DM has a rule that on a die 20, that's a crit. That's a crit roll, no matter who rolls it. If all the players get together and say, you know what, it'd be more fun. How about just the player characters get to roll crits and not the monsters or the bad guys? What does everybody say? Okay, there's 5 players, 5 of them say yes. DM, we want to change that rule. We don't like the rule where everybody gets a crit. We only want the players to get crits. Is that sound like what they're saying?
Well,
or am I just
no? It pretty much does. But you see, and here's the thing, and Peter's right. I can't get my 2 kids to agree on anything. How are we gonna get a table of people to agree on anything? It's disempowering the DM. So why do you want to disempower the DM? If you are turning this game into a digital platform, everybody's got to buy in. All the players have to buy in. And if you can get an AI DM to take over the GMing, and before Wati goes, we're not working on it. We know they're not working on it, but there are companies that are working on it for Hasbro for their other games.
Yeah.
Who's to say it's not going to come to D&D? We already know it's likely in the works. Where's the money being spent historically in gaming? By DMs, right? Players only have to know what they need to know. But now, if you all want to play the new Parallel Pinebrook adventure, you all got to pony up your $3 to buy it so you can participate in the adventure. Now, they're getting more people to put money into the economy. And by saying the DM isn't important, remember, if it's an AI DM, the DM can't make the game goes on because there's no DM, it's AI. If a player misses a session, does the game move on? Yes. As I stated earlier this week, yesterday, we were supposed to be our every other week game with Joe the lawyer running it. Joe came down with a horrible head cold, got 3 hours of sleep, didn't have game prep done. He couldn't run it. We had no game. If I had the shits, we'd still have a game if I was a player. They wouldn't give a shit if I had the shits.
Right.
But they want to make everybody as interchangeable as the player. And they don't want one person irreplaceable.
And there's a background for this too, because it's long known. One of the things in the hobby that's probably kept it down a little bit is you have to have a competent DM to run a game, and there's always been a dearth of competent DMs. There's always been less people that want to run the game than people want to play the game, right? I mean, every convention I've ever run, there's always like, man, we need more games because we're not going to get people to run games. So they're just kind of tapping into this, saying, okay, yeah, we understand that. We understand how hard it is to find a DM. What if you didn't have to have a DM? Wouldn't that be cool? And that's kind of, they're tapping into that whole, and that's one of the things that that's one of the things that slowed the acceptance of the game, is the fact that it's hard to find competent DMs. Yeah. There's just not that many. So like you're saying, a party, you have 5 people, like my group, there's 5 players, 1 DM. I think that's probably pretty much the ratio. There's probably 1 DM for every 5 people, maybe 1 for every 8 people. And because of that, it becomes, they're valuable. DMs are valuable.
Right. I mean, I'm lucky. My gaming group is Rob Conley, a GM, Greg Christopher, a GM, Joe the lawyer, a GM, Tim Shorts, a GM, Matt Jackson, a GM, and myself, generally a GM. So we all are by nature game masters. So getting to play is awesome, and we learn from each other. But we know that we as a group are a rarity. When I was a kid and a teen in my 20s, there were 2 game masters in my group. I did D&D and occasionally another system that I might enjoy running because I needed to change the pace. And my friend Dave did everything that wasn't D&D. And everybody else was just players. Everybody else was just players. And that's, being a DM is a lot of responsibility. You are, I don't want to say godlike because it makes it seem like, well, people get conceited because of the DM, but it's a position that is not replaceable until you get an AI DM. And once you get an AI DM, then you can wipe GMs off the board as far as WotC is concerned.
Yeah, you eliminate that impediment, because what you would have a lot of times is you'd be like, well, I don't like my DM. And you still hear this today. I hear this a lot today. Well, I don't really like my DM, but what am I going to do? And so I play with this group. I don't really like the group. I don't really like our DM style. I don't like our adventures, but it's the only D&D I've got. And so
bad D&D is better than no D&D.
Yeah,
you know what? Much. No, because it isn't. Trust me. I'd rather read a good book.
It's like, well, there's a debate going on online, and I've seen the meme a few times that back in the 80s, we would have killed for more Star Wars and Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica, this and that. You guys just need to be happy there's so much of that stuff. And then, of course, the pushback is, no, I'd rather not have that stuff than have bad stuff, you know? I mean, yeah. I love gourmet food, or I love food, but if you serve me a shit sandwich, I'm going to say, I like food, but I don't have to eat that food. And that's the same thing now. People, you know, when they complain about Star Wars, there's a whole segment of the fandom that's like, sit down and shut up. You should be lucky you're getting Star Wars at all. And there's another segment that says, is it too much to ask for good Star Wars? I mean, why do I have to accept bad Star Wars? Because that's what that's all you're giving me. So, and I understand both sides there, but that makes sense. I'm the same way. I don't accept bad Marvel comic book universe movies, which right. the last 10 have been ever since Endgame. And I don't like bad Star Wars, which is why I haven't watched half the things on my Disney Plus, list that people give really scathing reviews of. I'm like, I don't really need that. So I don't need it.
Disney Plus, man. I really am. It's not. The hits are few and far between.
They are now. And by the way, I saw an article today. Disney is expected to lose up to $750 million this year, almost $1 billion. They had, I think two movies that broke even this year, more Guardians of the Galaxy and one of their Pixar movies. I can't remember which one. Not Wish, which is bombing right now. I can't remember, Eric. But they basically had two good movies this year. No, I can't remember.
Well, it wasn't the new Marvels. I mean,
no. So none of the Marvel superhero movies. The only Marvel superhero movie that made any money this year is Guardians of the Galaxy. They just had a terrible year. So, and I know some people are like, well, you should just, in 1981, if you told me that, hey, you know what, a Doctor Strange movie is going to come out, it's going to have a budget of $200 million, and you're not going to want to see it, I would have laughed and said, no, what are you talking about? I love Doctor Strange. And if it's going to look really cool and have CGI and this, that, right. Well, guess what? I didn't see it. I didn't see it at the theater because the reviews were, and it was like, I can wait till it comes on Disney Plus and I'm not going to worry about it. So yes, what I thought would happen 40 years ago is, not true. I mean, it turns out that I do want quality. I don't want just quantity.
I don't say, anybody can slap out crap. I mean,
sure.
So here, I'm going to catch up on the comments here. Mr. Gunn has a good one. Eric, you got to understand that this is the inclusivity crowd who believe everyone needs to explicitly consent to absolutely everything in the Murray-Burry land of the Wattsiocracy.
Yeah, I think there's part of that in there too, definitely, and that's part of their just terrible ownership right now, and their leadership in the company is just the fact that they're not really paying attention to what the players want. They're listening to a very, very small vocal minority that say, hey, you didn't know this, but orcs are black people, and so stop treating orcs. Whoa, hold on, orc, what? Huh? What are you talking about? No, you know this. It's always been like this. Back in 1981, it's been like this. Orcs were always a stand-in for black people.
Never.
What are you smoking? Was. No. And so, yes, this is part of the crowd that wants to change things just for the sake of changing them. There's no real purpose, and which is another reason why we are hearing from our inside sources that the next version of D&D is an absolute fucking disaster. And Eric and I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Eric hasn't seen it.
Nope.
We're talking about people that we know that we cannot name. We will never name these people.
No.
Who have seen it and say this is an absolute fucking nightmare.
It's trying to check off boxes without achieving the work, and honestly, from my perception, it's not being designed by game designers. It is being designed by people that are picked to fill these roles.
And these people telling us this they're fans of 5e. They're fans of D&D. These are not they're not even people like Eric and I, old grognards, like, oh yeah, if it's not the way we used to play, we don't like it. No, these are people very open to change and newness, and they're going awful, thumbs down, terrible, it sucks. So just this is what they're coming up with, because you know there's all kinds of memes and funny statements about how committees create stuff, right? And things most things created by committees are garbage. I mean, it's just because everybody has to get their little 2 cents worth in it, and there's no really person in charge. Right. And that's why some of the best things in our society and some of the best ideas were created by one person or 2 people. I mean, Star Wars was pretty much all George Lucas. Nobody else thought this idea was worth dog doo-doo. Nobody cared about Star Wars. It was all George Lucas, and based on old, Japanese samurai movies he'd seen. And I mean, he put all these influences of his own in there. D&D was mainly the brainchild of 2 or 3 people, and you go on and on. All these things we like, that they came about. I mean, Star Trek was Gene Roddenberry's baby. I mean, he thought this whole thing up. Pitched the idea to Lucille Ball, and she said, "Okay, well, sounds like a great idea," which is a true story, which is weird, but it happened. And and so committees don't create good things. Committees get bogged down, and they start compromising, and everybody gets to get their own 2 cents worth in, and it just becomes a garbage. And that's what now is. We have games created by committees. We don't have games created by one person. We have games created by a group, and then they have to talk to focus groups, and then they do polls, and that's not how you create great art. You don't do that by
everybody give me your input. What color should I put here? What about over there? No. And Don has a good point. I will keep it very simply. When I am the DM, I will be fair, but I'm the final arbiter of things within the game. At the same time, I'm willing to listen, but I am the
final DM. I think that's how we DM for the most part.
That's true. We joke with Joe, who's our current GM. Again, we rotate, but we joke with Joe. He's like, I want to run AD&D 2E by the book, and then he gives us initially a dozen pages of house rules. Now it's 2 dozen.
I love that when every group wants to run raw never runs raw. Yeah,
but here's the thing: the buy-in from the group is we're going to play in Joe's game, and that's when you are talking about playing in a campaign, and especially a campaign, you generally know the players, the DM, or you get to know them over the first couple of sessions. There's got to be trust. You have to be able to trust that your fellow players are not going to be dicks and assholes, honestly, and you gotta have trust that your DM is going to be competent and run an enjoyable game, and that requires trusting the GM to make the right decisions without you second guessing everything. And if they ask, listen, Joe's had the point. Like, I don't know how that works. All right, well, let's do a little research and take 5 minutes to figure out how turning in 2E works. We still didn't get the right answer for how long it lasts, but and that's a confidence.
By the way, I don't know if you guys discovered this, but turning is basically a decision of the DM, because all it says is that you turn them, and then I've had some DMs say, as long as you have your holy symbol up their turn. I've had other ones say just roll randomly. I like the one that says you have to keep turning them, because that makes it tougher when you have to hold your symbol to keep it at bay.
I found this. I was the one doing the turning. I found a Sage Advice article that said that, and it was dealing with how how summoned demons are controlled, and it used that to say you control for 24 hours, or you turn for 24 hours less than the number you needed to roll.
That's a good idea. I like that.
So if you need to roll a 19, it's for 5 hours. If it was automatic, it's 24 hours. I was like, all right, that was probably
pretty good. No, I like that. By the way, Sage Advice was really good, because it was always that they would really go to the creators and ask them these questions. They didn't just figure it out most of the time. They didn't or make it up. They would go and ask Seth Cook or Steve Winter, like, and they would say, oh yeah, we assumed it was this, and we assumed this is what you would think, but a lot of times the assumptions are wrong. So yes, that sounds like a really good way to work that out.
I like this.
But yeah. So the rule zero is, it's basically meant to undermine the authority of the DM for some reason, and I think that reason
is the reason is they want to make the DM no longer a necessary. Oh, well, your DM's not showing up. Don't worry. You run with the AI DM. You don't need him. If there's a question on how to solve it, just type it into tell the AI. We think we should be able to all fly, and the AI DM might go, "Okay, you can all now fly." All right, then but it's disempowering because they, again, as it stands historically, most of the money in a gaming group on the individual basis is spent by those that GM. Right? When you're a player, you need to know your class. Maybe you want to know, like, oh, I want to know the setting material. Let me buy the Forgotten Realms hardcover, and I'll know the setting a bit better. But you're not buying all the The DM is buying all this reference material. Well, you want to make sure that this is for everybody. Buy the new adventure. Just don't read pages 8 through 40 because that's the actual adventure. But the rest of it, you should own it because you can't play it online if you don't already own it.
I want to read you something from Victor Raymond. Victor Raymond's super intelligent guy. He's a big guy in the Empire of the Petal Throne scene. Going to be a special guest in our Texas next year. I want you to read something he wrote on this subject, which I think I always like his takes because he is pretty much right down the middle and stuff. He's not, one way or the other. And so he said that my perspective on this comes from my background as a sociologist with some familiarity with cultural anthropology. To my mind, there are different forces at work here. There is what WotC's official position is, which is that DMs can change what they want, says so in the books. Then there is a larger frame of gameplay culture, which is varied. And then there's what goes on in your own table. So you got three things going there.
Okay.
In the second frame, gameplay culture, where there seems to be a growing belief in rules as written gameplay, which tends to pit how the books are written versus whatever the DM is doing. I think that's where this belief of WotC is undermining DM authority is coming from. And it's true because there is a big movement right now, rules as written, among the 5e crowd. Now, what's interesting is rules as written used to be a big deal among the old school crowd, right? It was this big thing like, oh, no, you got to play 1E exactly as written. Well, that's actually lightened up through the years because of the OSR. The OSR now has all these different versions of old school games. What's funny is now 5e, because a lot of it's because Adventures League. Because Adventures League is very strict on what they allow and don't allow. Extremely strict. As in this, yes, that, no exceptions, right? And because of this, there's been a big movement in the 5e culture to do rules as written. No changes, ifs, ands, buts, no house rules, whatever. Why? Well, because if you're playing Adventures League a lot, you can't, their house rules aren't a thing in Adventures League. You're playing the rules exactly as written, and absolutely as written, which, as we know, Eric and I and other people, there's really no rules as written. I mean, you may say there's rules as written, but there's always going to be something you're going to argue about, rules as written or not. So I think Victor had a really good point with this, that this is because you have the rules as written crowd coming out and saying, you can't change this. You can't change it at all. And then you have the players saying, well, this is the game we want. We don't care what our DM wants to run. This is the game that we want to run. And then, of course, you have the traditional DM's standing, which is, hey, I'm just here to, throw an adventure at you and do, and just apply the rules, hopefully evenly.
Right.
You have all these different forces at work here, basically. You have all different forces at work. And that's why. And then, of course, as Eric said, you also have the force at work that, hey, it'd be kind of cool if we started telling people the DM really doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because
the DM is not important.
Yeah.
And listen, if the DM becomes an AI DM, then there's no game prep, right? You don't have to have one person spending. I mean, I think Joe probably spends at least 10 hours between those 2 weeks getting prep done. Honest to God, he probably spends at least 2 half days in a weekend just doing game prep, if not more. And if it's an AI DM, everybody just shows up and the AI runs it, and you guys are all like, okay, well that was fun. It isn't the same. You're not gonna AI DM works with Railroad Adventures. I am quite sure it's not going to work with a hex crawl or a sandbox.
No,
you're not going to have
that. If you have to think on your feet, the AI is going to do what AI does, which is come up with a bunch of nonsense. That's what AI does when it tries to think on its feet. And much better if you have a railroad where you have to go from A to B to C, like Tournament Adventures or Adventures League. That's what Adventures League are. Adventures League are not sandboxes. Adventures League are from here to here to here to here. And so, yes, I think that's a very good point too.
WotC will provide a limited AI DM with downloadable content for extra AI options. Dave, you're probably spot on. We know a couple of things that we can expect from the new VTT that WotC is working on, which there's no way in living hell it's going to be ready for release in 2024. But they'll release it in beta, and you'll have to pay to play the beta. All right? But they are going to want to make sure that they're getting money not just from the GM, but from all the players. There's going to be a subscription, and there's going to be downloadable content that you can buy on top of the subscription.
And this is when they came out last year and said that about this time last year when they said D&D was under-monetized. What they meant to say was, and the studies prove this, is that a disproportionate amount of money in the hobby is spent by the people running the hobby. And I just told you, those people are less than the people playing the hobby. These people are running it. So the DMs are the ones buying all the material. The players are just playing it. But they want to find a way. How can we get money out of the players' pockets? Players aren't spending enough money. Well, that's why. Look, that's why. Why do you think 2E came out with all the splat books? Eric, splat books weren't for the DM. Splat books were for the players. That people don't understand that. A splat book, the Ranger splat book, was not about the DM. The DM doesn't care how many Rangers are on that was all about the player seeing a really cool Ranger and then going to his DM and go, I want to play this Ranger. I want to play the Beastmaster. Or I want to play the Dwarven Silent Runner or whatever was in there.
Right.
It was all about getting the player to purchase stuff. I thought 2E actually did a really good deal of that because that's what all the supplements were. These were books the players bought so they could show their DM character classes. And I think this is WotC's move now to try to help better monetize things by making the players have to buy tchotchkes, making the players have to buy little figures to use in VTT, making the players buy things to customize their characters. So like my character has a special, like Fortnite does, Fortnite or PUBG, where they you basically you do these skills or whatever, and you get an extra skin, they call it, or extra costume to wear. That's what they want to do now, because that is how you monetize the people who are not being monetized now.
Yeah, and that really comes down to it. That is their whole and only goal is how do we monetize? Remember, they come from Microsoft. All right, the leadership comes from Microsoft. They're not pen and paper gamers. They understand subscriptions. They understand DLC content, and how do we monetize this? We don't even at Microsoft. You can't even find Microsoft Office to buy. You got to get a subscription. Yeah. I mean, if you can find a single license that's lifetime for Microsoft Office, snag it when you can find it, because otherwise they want a subscription. I'm sorry, absolutely. I got to catch up. The people that's are talking.
Yeah, you guys are really, really wild and crazy tonight. It seems like we're missing somebody. Oh well, I'm just my imagination.
Missing? Oh no, no!
It's almost like we're missing somebody.
Yeah, almost like we're missing a chronic complainer.
Yeah, it's like we are, but maybe it's just my imagination.
No, that's not your imagination. That's
okay, yeah.
Every 6 to 12 months, I got to take out the band hammer and actually whack somebody across the head.
Makes sense. Yeah,
this time I had to do it.
This person was well past due for really sidetracking us all the time. So,
yeah, when you go to somebody else's channel to troll me,
come on.
What
like we're not going to see that. Come on, we saw it. We saw all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I'm going to call you R for now on, just because the "un" part drives me nuts. I have noticed older tabletop players are unfamiliar with the online RP trends. Like, for instance, it's normal for online RP to need permission to kill a character. Blows my mind, man.
Well, look how difficult it is to kill a character in 5e. Yes, I know you can kill a character in 5e. You can, but is it easy? No. Is it? It's. I'm sorry. I don't care. If you tell me it's easy, you're lying to me, because I know people that play 5e. I ask them candidly all the time, "Is it hard to kill a character?" They tell me yes, it is. It's difficult to kill a character. Now a lot of it depends on, once again, on the DM. A lot of it depends on, what kind of rules they allow and don't allow. But no, it's difficult to do that. So that's not, that's not a surprise. That and a lot of this is because 5e is much more storyteller oriented. It's much more of a storyteller game. It's less of a look. The game has been moving away for decades from its wargaming roots, right?
Yes.
The wargaming roots were, you don't really care about your character. You roll up your character. Don't even name him until he gets 3rd level, because he's probably going to die. And so, this is more of a war game simulation. It is a Tolkienish story about, hobbits taking a ring to the Mount Doom. Whereas now we've swung exactly the opposite way. Whereas no. This is a story. This is a story about you and your characters. Please have a backstory. Have a 15-page backstory. I
don't want to hear it.
We're going to work that in, because don't worry, you're not going to die. So don't worry. You work up this backstory for your character, because we're going to work that in, because you're not going to die, and you don't have to worry about, well, I just made this giant backstory and I'm dead. No. The way 5e is structured is very difficult to die. And look, I'm not even saying that's wrong. It's just a different way to play, right? I mean, if the players like it, which they apparently do, because a lot of people play 5e, that's fine. Let them have fun playing that way. That's not the way we learn, but it doesn't mean that's the wrong way. It just means it's the way we don't play.
I mean, yeah. God, I mean, TPKs happen. Listen, we have a TPK usually campaigns rebooting, but individual PCs have died in games that I've run over the years, and you know what? Hopefully they die heroically. Hopefully some of the best stories that I've told and I've enjoyed are the stories of the last stand of so and so, because
sure,
what that one player's character stood behind and held the door so everybody else could leave, knew that they were sacrificing their character, or they were distractions so the rest of the party could escape. Those are fun times. And if the idea is, and this is, it started with 3E, it isn't a 5E thing only. Once you got to the point where you started planning out your characters to what they were going to do, what feats, what magic items you expected to find by name level, what you needed to get your prestige classes,
right?
The game was done when it came to allowing your characters to pass nobly, because now, well, no, I need to become a arcane archer, so therefore I need to get these feats in this order because I read it on some fucking blog, or I used some computer program that showed me how to do it, and it becomes less of the traditional role-playing game and more of an MMO, right? Your character in an MMO doesn't ever die. Right. There's no true death in an MMO, so there's no true death in 5e.
But I think it's just, look, it's just But when role playing games first came out, they were just an extension of war games. That don't care about your character. You don't care about your character to the point where people would name their fighters Fighter 1, Fighter 2, Fighter 3, Fighter 4. Oh, how'd your character do? Well, I lost Fighter 3 and 4 this weekend. I'm up to Fighter 5. And that's, by the way, it's the guy's name because I'm not going to name him right now. There's no point because they keep getting killed.
Huh. It's Cyrus the Fourth, and he's picking up the prior weapons and armor of Cyrus the Third.
Right. No. Was that right? I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good either. I think that way sucked. And I remember when I'm back in the old day, I didn't like playing like that. I thought that was terrible. But there's been a long time rule about OSR systems versus new systems, and that in older systems, the story emerges out of gameplay, not the opposite way around. In other words, your gameplay happens, and then you try to form a story into it. Every week or every month when we do our Dwardy campaign, they run the adventure. There's no overlapping story, but I try to make it sound like a story when I do my write-ups. I do a whole write-up about what happened, and I make it sound like a coherent story, a beginning, middle, and end. But that's not how the game is run. New school is exactly the opposite. It's all about the story, and we're going to throw some, the game rules they matter also, but the story is what's important, not the actual gameplay. And that's why people will brag. People are like, we played last weekend. We played for 5.5 hours, and we only rolled the dice twice. That's great. That's absolutely the opposite of what the wargaming roots were back in 1978, when you're rolling dice all the time. You roll dice for everything because that's just the way it was done. It's just a different. It's just different.
It is, but then at the same time, 5e has a dice roll for everything. You play in a 1e or a 2e game, and you're role playing an interaction between goblins and the PCs, and they're parlaying. Well, if you do that in 5e, I roll my intuition. Are they lying? Are they trying to deceive us?
Yeah.
Back in the day, you role played that. Now you roll it.
You roll a dice. Yes, a lot of players are very lost if they can't roll the dice for that, because you ask, okay, what do you do to pick the lock? Huh? What do you do to try to find the trap? What? What do you do to convince the guard to let you in the city? Oh, I roll my dice, and if I roll over my convince roll, then they're convinced. Well, no, I want to hear what you say. What do you tell the guard? No, I don't want to do that. I just want to roll the dice, see if I succeed.
I know. But it's weird.
A lot of that.
The same people that want to role play all their little background stuff, but when you want them to actually role play something that they feel should be decided by a dice roll, they don't want to role play it.
Right.
Listen, this goes back to beginnings of 5e when we were doing the D&D Next playtest. This is how I met Greg Christopher. He wanted to run the D&D Next playtest. He got into the family beta with WotC. I don't remember who he knew for social media, but he got into it, and he invited some people he knew online, including myself, to join the group. And he wanted an old school gamer, a 4e gamer, a 3e gamer. He wanted people from different D&D backgrounds, and the 4e player couldn't handle role-playing the parlay without a dice roll. Well, there's got to be a dice roll. Well, no, he made a good speech. It was convincing. They'll believe it. That's bullshit. There's no dice roll. If there's no dice roll, it can't happen. That's not a game skill. That's a player skill. And it was like, holy shit.
So I've told this story before. This is about a friend of mine. I'm sorry, I had to take a bite of something. My sugar's getting a little low here. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I tried to turn my camera so you didn't have to see me munching on a.
It reminds me I should check my blood sugar. I'm still good, but I don't know if you can't see it. 87. So I'm going down.
Well, you are going down. That's a little low, but
yeah.
So a friend of mine, he ran the Swords of Wizardry for a game store that at the time they were only running, I think either 5e or 3. Oh boy, I don't remember the year here. I think it was Pathfinder 3. That was when they were real big. So He was running a session, a local game store. They let him run an old school session. We're running Swords and Wizardry old school rules. We would really like you to show up if you've never played. We want to see what your reactions are to old school role playing. If you would like it, blah blah, all this stuff. So I show up that day because I'm giving a bunch of free product from Frog God. Like, yeah, I can bring a free product because we like it. We're running our stuff, and I stick around to see how the game runs. So there's about 8 people, and all of them have never played old school. They've only played modern games. So I saw this happen. For the most part, the players bought in. However, there was 2 players. One of them, they rolled. He said, roll 3 6-sided die. You can arrange to type. Arrange however you want. You don't have to roll in order, but you can only roll 3 6-sided die. One guy kept saying, my character sucks. He's bad. My highest ability is a 12. And we try to explain to him, old school D&D doesn't matter. It's not important what your rolls are. It depends. What is important is what your player or you do with those rolls.
Right.
Couldn't handle it. He quit. Walked off the table. His character was no good. He said, no, the highest ability I have is a 12. I am not playing a character with high ability 12. That's it. I'm out. Never even tried the adventure. Just walked out. Okay. So somebody else fills a spot. So we were playing. And one character is a thief. So we're playing, and this guy, he's not doing anything. And so they get to the point where, like, okay, well, we need somebody to listen at the door. You give your thief listen at the door. He goes, I don't know how to do that. He said, well, you're just going to just let. So, I'm sorry, it wasn't listen at the door. It was find a trap. So you tell us how you're looking for the trap. I don't understand how to do it. It was like an Abbott and Costello routine. Who's on first? Because they said, just tell me how you want to look for this trap. I don't know how to do that. Well, can I just roll the dice? No. The old school D&D is about you have to tell me what you want to do as a thief. That poor kid was almost in tears because he could not understand the fact that the DM just wanted him to explain to him what he was doing. Because all he had ever been used to, because he was a kid. He was a kid. Right. He was about 20 years old. The only games he'd ever played were 3E. All he knew was that there is a chart for that, and you roll on it, and it tells you to succeed or not. He didn't understand the whole concept of no. Do you push this rock in here? Do you move this to the side? Do you pull the torch scotch down? Whatever. That was not in his wheelhouse.
No,
he didn't know how to do that, and it was amazing to watch these guys. Now, I will say, out of the entire experience, let's say there was 10 people there, 8 of them loved it. They were like, This was really cool. We would definitely do this again. It was totally different. We were totally out of our wheelhouse. We were totally, on unsafe ground. We didn't know what was going on. Just those 2 that I told you about couldn't grok it. They could not grasp it all, and they had no clue about what was going on, and just didn't want to play that way. And didn't understand. They didn't understand how to play that way.
At least they were there voluntarily. They bought in,
right?
Knowing that I was at GaryCon. This is the year we had all that snow.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah,
and the 5e game for what's it, the Doom, Mouth of Doom. Didn't have a 5e DM, so I'm handed go run a game. I'm like, I only run Swords and Wizardry. I don't know 5e for shit. Well, have fun. So I get to the table and I go, listen, your GM got snowed out. I don't run 5e. I don't know 5e. I've glanced at the books. If you want me to run 5e, you're not going to have a good time. Guaranteed. I go, but if you're willing to play Swords and Wizardry, I got the light rules. We're all characters in 5 minutes and be going. Had a full table of 8. One guy right away. Can't do it. I don't play that old school stuff. And he walked off. And one guy walking by goes, is that a free seat? I'm like, yeah. Did I hear Swords and Wizardry? I go, yeah. I'm in. It's all right.
Now what was cool about this is we had the whole dungeon built up out of Dwarven.
Yeah, 3D model.
3D. Yeah, so it looked really cool. It was very eye-catching. Very eye-catching for people. They walk by like, whoa, that is really cool.
So I had to explain the concepts, and I was like, listen, there's no skills, there's no feats. It's very basic. And don't worry too much about your ability scores. I go, my house rule is if you're playing a human, you can take your lowest score and make it a 15. That's what gave you +1. Otherwise, if you're a demi-human, it's already built in bonus. All right, so at the rest of my table, out of my 8 players, 7 of them not just tried to grok it, but really tried to get into it. This plays quickly. This plays fast. This is a lot of fun. One guy kept it going. I want to roll my intuition, and then there's another player going, that doesn't exist in this game. Yeah, but we need that skill. He goes, no. I want to intimidate. What do I roll? I go, no. Tell me what you're doing. The others at the table started to grok it. This guy didn't.
Some people just don't get it, Eric. They don't.
It frustrates them.
Yes, they're very frustrated. That's the guys I was talking about. Yeah. The guys at the table. The poor kid was frustrated because they were asking him to do something he did not have a mechanism for doing because he had not learned D&D that way. He learned that every single action you do, there is a roll you can make to do that action.
Yes. So before it wrapped up, he excused himself to go to the bathroom and never came back.
the old I got to go to the bathroom and never show up again. Yeah.
The rest of my table, of those 7 that remained, 2 we wrapped up just before 6. 2 ran off to the dealer's room to go to the Frog God table to get the Swords and Wizardry rules for the full complete rules, and 2 met me there the next day to thank me for the game and buy the complete rules. So they enjoyed it enough that they wanted to bring it back to their home campaign.
Right.
I think a lot of what misses and again, some people are just not wired for it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think you can enjoy 5e and enjoy old school gaming. It's a change of pace. Some people can't. Listen, I played in the 5e game at ShireCon, not this year, last year, and I had fun. Had a great GM who really knew the rules. I didn't know my character for shit because there was like 8 pages for my 6th level Snoopy monk. But I mean, I had a good time anyway. But I could never run it. It's just way too much. Now I'm going to try to catch up on comments. Grumpy Wizard noticed that WotC does not have a booth at Gen Con, Gamehole, or any other big convention or small. They don't have.
However, this year they did show up to those conventions. They did show up at Gamehole Con. They did show up at Gen Con because I think they are starting to realize that is a terrible look. So they don't necessarily have tables there, but they do show up now to those conventions. There was a time when they didn't even show up and I think a lot of it was arrogance. Was like, oh, we're the best selling game of all time. What are we showing up at your convention for, dude?
Right.
Well, you've already got Adventures League playing. You got 500 gamers playing Adventures League. We don't need to show up. I think that because this whole OGL mess happened earlier this year, they've gotten a little humility when it comes to that. So,
well, I think some of their default attitude, and this goes back to the 3E days, is that we let the peons create the support material.
Yeah,
we create the official material. We don't need to do this stuff. Let the third-party publishers push our product and our game system. We could just sit back and relax. They're going to be at PAX, according to Mr. Gunn, to announce.
Okay, so
yeah, the deck that was misprinted.
I think that's supposed to come out the new deck of many things. So, yeah. Whatever. What did they do? What was the misprint of that? Do you remember? Or
the cards were all fucked up.
They weren't AI, were they? Because that's
maybe they were designed by AI. I think.
I'm about to say that would be the ultimate. That'd be the ultimate.
Yeah, it's like I guess whoever did the layout and the cards was like, I forgot the bleed or whatever. I don't know what the deal was.
Dear.
But
yeah, that's might be unforgivable. But no, so look, we're not arguing against any style that anybody wants to play because that's up to you and your group. You can do whatever you like. But it's interesting. I'm interested in it because to me it shows where they want the game to move to. That's the whole point of this. I think this Rule 0 thing. I know a lot of people a lot of old school guys got a lot of flack for like, oh, you old school guys, you can't just let people play the game the way they want to. I don't think that's it. I think it's just that it's a it's a harbinger for what they want the game to become someday, which is basically we want a robot DM. But we don't want the DM to really have any agency here, and we want this robot DM that's just going to run you through the game. That way we don't have to worry about you finding a DM.
And they're not going to call it an AI DM. You know what they're going to call it? DM on demand.
Oh,
I'm going to trademark that. Trademarked it's having DM on demand. But really,
I like it.
DM on demand. Hey, listen. And this is what my gaming group from high school and college, we get together once a year. We'll still keep in touch. And they started getting into 5e, and they're like, Eric, you should be running 5e for us. I go, dude, we went through the MMO phase for like a better part of a decade after, stopped playing face-to-face. I go, I am not going to be the DM that you call up at 5:15 saying, hey, at 5:30, three of us can get together online for the VTT. Can you run a session? Because I was going to, go fuck yourselves. No, if I'm going to run a game, it's on, my schedule. And I knew it was going to, they wanted it to be like an on-demand MMO type of deal. It's like, no, I can't, I can't do that. Well, Slack Arias, welcome. Nice to have you. See you.
Oh, yeah, wow. We have quite a few people in the watching room, which is good. It's always nice to have
beauteous thing, man.
It's always nice to have more than like three people. So that's
we've got well more than three. Actually, we've got like, strangely enough, we have like numbers like as if like Luke was here.
So that was the rule 0. Now, didn't you have something you wanted to talk that you had a story that you wanted to cover also?
And it's been spoken about on lots of channels. So now I'm going to run something in the background, but I'm going to do it without sound, because if I do it with sound, the powers that be are going to tell me.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
So it's going to be without sound, folks. So there is a D&D channel, all right? And this is stuff that they've got faces that you might recognize and many that you won't. But they put money into this. But I'm not sure if it's actually Hasbro.
Oswald Pat.
Yep. And what's her name from
the
Marvel stuff?
Yeah, Deborah Wall. I thought I saw Deborah Wall there. Here right now, but
right. So they actually have 2 of these live plays and 1 cooking show, and it's got this channel. And you would Seth Green, Will Wheaton,
Lillard, Lillard. Listen, I got to meet Lillard. Got to meet him at a Game Hall this year. Super nice guy, very nice guy.
So you know that they paid money for these people, all right, and not just for them, directors, producers, writers, and all that other wonderful shite. And they got, look at this, new episodes Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and at 9 p.m. Pacific time.
I might watch
on Saturdays.
Maybe I'll watch
one. All right. So let me just say, let's go to, if you went to the link in the video, and the link in the video is down here. It's the D&D Beyond link.
Okay.
Let me go to that D&D Beyond link.
Sure.
All right, Dungeons and Dragons Adventures, a free streaming TV channel.
Hey, very cool, very cool.
Yeah. Purple Worm link doesn't work. Hero Feast link doesn't work.
Oh no.
Encounter Party. All right, well, let's see. The Encounter Party link works. Where's it take me to? Oh shit! Takes me back to the same fucking page. All right, well, let's now. Freeverse is Amazon's like freemium channel or something like that. So let's go. Wow, they got all this stuff here on Amazon Prime. Okay.
So you would so I found the variety, which covers everything in the entertainment world. They ran a story on this way back in May. Yep. Dungeons and Dragons free 24-hour streaming channel set to launch this summer. Okay. This is part of it. The channel included a slate of original celebrity-focused unscripted series, including Encounter Party, Faster, Purple Worm, Kill, and Heroes Feast, as well as catalog content, including 1980s Dungeons & Dragons anime series. Okay. So This is what they said about it. This is an amazing opportunity to create and highlight exciting, engaging Dungeons & Dragons content to both serve our wide audience of existing fans and welcome a new wave of fans to the community, said Dan Rawson, SVP of Dungeons & Dragons at Wizards of the Coast, the city of Hasbro. We look forward to bringing this channel to life and continuing to build out the thrilling D&D universe with even more content, partnership, and innovative formats. Doesn't really tell you very much about what it's about.
No, it doesn't. And I'm going through. Hey, Freeverse has a lot of channels like Don't Tell the Bride, Top Gear.
Yeah.
And I haven't found this fucking channel yet. So you think that if you were going to link to it, you would link to the channel. Now, I think with Professor DM, he had a theory as to why this isn't. It's all fucked up.
Uh-oh.
Remember, what was it? E1, the production company that Hasbro owned, that they bought for $3 billion and sold for $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, even though they're advertising these shows, maybe these shows went with E1, in which case they're really not interested in doing anything effective in pushing it. Because this came out a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I think 2 weeks ago tomorrow.
I kind of like, so I'm reading some of these. I kind of like some of these setups. So here's the setup for Faster Purple Worm Kill Kill. It's described as an improv comedy spin on classic Dungeons & Dragons gameplay. Each episode features a party of first-level characters, replete with backstories, accents, theme songs, and more, marching to their certain deaths as they face beasts against which they stand absolutely no chance. The series features a revolving cast of special guests and celebrities, including series co-creator Matt Lillard. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. I can see a party as, hey, you guys first level, and you got to go defeat the Mind Flayer. And they're all going to die. They're all going to die horribly. That's actually kind of funny. If you had some really good improv comedians on there, and everybody knows you're going to die, and you try to make it funny, I would like to see that. I would watch an episode to see if it was actually funny or not. So, I would be kind of in on that a little bit.
Okay.
The other one, counterparties from the creators of the podcast, the same name, follows 6 returning professional actors and improv artists. Oh dear. From the original podcast, and welcomes new cast member Carrie Payton from The Walking Dead as they role-play an original D&D campaign with original characters set in the world of the Forgotten Realms. I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. Yawn. Everybody is doing that now because that's what Critical Role did, yep. and they made millions of dollars. I mean, literally, they made millions of dollars doing that. And now everybody wants to do. We're going to start our own party, and all these are unique, angsty characters.
I found it, Mike. Holy shit!
Whoa!
On this page. Oh, tonight is well, I'm gonna have to make sure the volume.
Well, tonight's Wednesday night. Thursday. It said Thursday, didn't it?
Yeah, no. Heroes Feast. Heroes Feast. Probably repeats the same damn episode time and time again. I'm going to.
The locals would turn to a Kremfel, a thin pan.
There, turning off the volume.
Turn the volume off. Yeah.
There's the volume off. Here's Hero Feast. All right. So instead of linking you to the channel, they link you to Amazon Freeverse, whatever. And then you got to scroll to the very fucking end 10 minutes later.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay. That's weird because who's the audience for this? I mean, who's the audience?
I don't even know.
I mean, people that like cooking show, but also like to play D&D. I mean, it's kind of a niche audience, but I guess if you can make it, I don't know. I might watch it just to see if there's an actual good recipe on it, but I don't know what they're doing different or more interesting than in your average cooking show, or I don't know. It seems like this is a niche that doesn't really need to be filled.
Well, not only that, let's look at it this way. They have 3 shows to fill 7 days of programming, 24 hours a day.
Oh dear.
Okay, maybe 4 if they have the cartoon on. I think.
And what they're hoping for, at least to me, sounds like what everybody's hoping for now is a Critical Role breakthrough, which is you hit that critical man. And what's the other group? Okay, there's Critical Role. There's the other group that's very popular. Oh God, why can't I remember? They do the same thing, only different, and they have very popular personalities, voice actors doing the show, and they've got really popular. There's a bunch of D&D books written about their characters, yada yada, whatever. So it's everybody wants to hit big on this because there is a lot of potential money here. Nerds are money nowadays.
Yes,
and so they are, if they can do the Critical Role thing. Oh, Acquisitions Unlimited. I'm sorry. Acquisitions Unlimited did the same thing, where they have a group and they're all voice actors and they basically barely DM. I mean, it's not really a D&D game. It's more like a storytelling game or whatever. So yeah, Acquisitions Unlimited, Critical Role. Everybody wants to hit that magic bullseye because when Critical Role did their Kickstarter, they made what, $6 million, $8 million? I mean,
like that. That was WotC's money.
Yeah, crazy money. They made crazy money. Everybody, so they all want to start their own D&D campaign, hoping that their characters will catch on, and this will be a gigantic, money suck for them.
The audience is young lady in the uniform, late millennials, early gens.
Who is this? So, my girl Jenny D was mentioned here. Evil Cheese, and I feel the same about Jenny D. I'm going to once again defend Jenny D, even though I probably shouldn't. Is that what she does? She does what she does very well, and she makes no bones about hiding what she is, which is a shill for D&D product. That's what she does, right. And she does. You know what? I think she's a hard worker because it's hard work to paint your body green every day, or pink, or blue, or whatever color she has when she does her videos. That's not easy, and that's time consuming. I'm going to tell you right now. Look, Eric, can you imagine how much time it would take to paint our bodies like orange for every episode?
Oh my God!
I don't want to
just put a filter on.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to go through that. So I'm gonna and get costumes. We had to costume up every Wednesday. We had to paint ourselves. Like I was
filter.
I was Grommo, the blue orc, and you were GR, the green elf, and we had to paint ourselves every week. I don't know that I could do that for less than, I don't know, $1,000 an episode. I just wouldn't do it. So whatever Jenny D does, God bless her. She works hard for her. The girl works hard for the money. I mean, because that's way more work than I'd want to put in if I did it. So
right. I can put
not going. I'm not going to rip her on that. And I will say something else about Jenny D is she's really in shape, man. I saw her workout thing, and she's got a six-pack, dude. She is not a chubby gamer like Eric and I. She also works out too. So leave my girl Jenny alone. Yes. It's not what I'm looking for when I talk about D&D, but she does her thing and she does it well. Not going to. Yes, she's the most capitalized communist I've ever seen. She has an OnlyFans account away from being Satine. Pretty much. Well, she has more class than Satine. I will say that.
Yeah, it isn't hard though.
No. My decision to defend Jenny D is just as terrible as Fantasy Football decision. Okay, we're going to back this up. The league I play in with Terry, my team is the worst. And I will admit that. But I am first place in two other leagues I'm in, and I'm in fourth place in the other two leagues after that. I played 5 leagues every year.
Well, you're not the worst. You're number 8.
No, I'm number 8, but that's still not good because, like
Mike, I'm number 7. I'm not much better than you. We got the same record.
Yeah.
Listen, my two starting quarterbacks, my 2 quarterbacks I initially picked, both of them were
mine are out. Oh,
mine are gone in the third play of the season.
Mine was Joe Burrow, and I can't remember the other guy. They're both gone. My running backs are all gone. They all died or got killed or whatever. No. I'm generally pretty good. I've been playing fantasy football since the early 90s. Yes, I have 5 leagues. 2 I'm in first place, 2 I'm in fourth. This league, unfortunately, I'm just getting my ass kicked. So don't base that on anything. Those are terrible decisions on that league, but I'm going to plead injury ridden. I'm going to be like the Cincinnati Bengals are this year, or how about the New York Jets? I'm like the New York Jets this year. I'm going to say, look, if Aaron Rodgers hadn't been knocked out 4th play of the year, we would have been a good team.
I would have been much better than I am now.
I'm going to say if my starting running backs and starting quarterbacks hadn't been knocked out, I would be a much better team. So leave Jenny alone.
Leave my Jenny alone.
Yes, she's I love the one OnlyFans account away from being Satine.
That is funny.
No, come on, man. Give her more credit than that. Satine's no, come on. I'm going to give Jenny more credit than that. That's not very nice.
Well, nice or not, it's funny. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah,
just gotta say, man. Just gotta say.
She's got more class than Satine. Sorry. Hate to say it, but it's true.
Well, I'm looking at my monetization of my live streams, and for the most part, I should just probably not monetizing the live streams.
Oh no!
Oh, we're good for tonight's far, but the last
five
live streams.
Let's start painting our faces green every episode, and then
I mean, I don't know. Oh, I know why the Gamers Health doesn't get monetized, because I'm talking about health, and that's no longer that's a verboten topic now.
Healthy? How dare you, sir? How dare you?
You can't talk about health because all health talk is misinformation.
No, okay, Thraxis. Jenny did not appear at Gary Con last year and get married to her boyfriend after already being married, because Satine and Jameson were already married.
Right. It was. Actually, we don't even know what Jenny's boyfriend looks like because she has one.
I don't know. I don't think she ever shows him. So, I think they're married. I think they're married now too. I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. Come on, man. You don't hate success. Don't hate success. Eric and I, by the way, Eric and I are going to debut our new channel next month, where we're going to paint ourselves different colors. So. I'm gonna be Grombar the orc, and he's gonna be a Silverleaf the elf, and we're gonna I don't know, we're gonna play D&D 1-on-1 D&D, so. No, come on, man. I just appreciate success. However, as long as you work hard, I appreciate your success. That's why I have no respect for people like certain people in our community, because they didn't work hard to get where they're at. They've just they ran con jobs on people to get where they're at. So some people actually do work hard. I wouldn't want to do what Jenny does, and a lot of people like that do. I would look. I think, as unsuccessful as she's been so far, I think Deborah Ann Wall works hard. I know she's been running games for now, like 4 or 5 years online.
Right.
And then plus she's an actress. I mean, where does she even have time to play D&D? If I was an actor, I would have zero time to play D&D. I would never play D&D again because I would not have any time. I'd be too busy. I appreciate the fact that Deborah Ann Wall runs D&D games and stuff. Same with Matt Lillard. Matt Lillard, he's a movie star. I can't believe he shows up at Gamehole or does anything. I'd be like, screw it, man. I ain't doing that. So no, if you work hard and do the work and put it in, I will respect you for that. But it's when you're not doing the work. For instance, I'll give you an example of why not doing the work. You just mentioned him, Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton's a fucking fraud. So yeah, so that guy is a joke. He's parlayed a career he had 25 years ago, and then he had a few guest spots on Big Bang Theory and a couple other shows into this. Suddenly I know everything about gaming, and I am
the super geek.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Sorry, man. Yeah, there you go, Thraxis. Deborah doesn't need D&D for fame. She's a real gamer. That's the kind of thing that I respect a lot of, is when they don't, and I know from Gary talking to Joe Mentiga, he's the same way. He just loves playing D&D. Loves it. He doesn't, he would play D&D if he was an actor or not. It doesn't matter to him one way or the other. He loves everything about D&D. And he has a great backstory. He used to play he used to be a geek, and he wasn't ripped and kick ass like he is now. And so he got to know that crowd and play D&D and all that stuff. So Is well working actress. Well, maybe that's why she can do her own show now, because she didn't do any acting. Nobody did any acting for a year.
Yeah.
You've never heard of Deborah Ann Woll. She was in a bunch of seasons of True Blood, Daredevil and True Blood. Yeah, she did, and she's a good actress. She's not a bad actress at all, and I have a lot of respect for her. She does a lot of work with the deaf community. Her husband's deaf, and so she is very, very big in the deaf community, giving back to charities and stuff. And she's just not. Everybody that says they've met her, Luke's met her, a few other people, they just say she's a nice person. Joe Mantiga spoke very highly of her. Said she's just an absolute sweetheart, apparently. So anyway, so not all of them. And then Lillard does Beatles and Grimm stuff's cool. They really do. And by the way, he's a nice guy. He was talking to Jim Kitchen at Gamehole Con. I said, you know what? I'm gonna be an idiot if I don't walk up and say hi to him. So I walked up and said, hey man, I loved you in The Bridge. He did a miniseries called The Bridge. He was an asshole TV reporter who was a drunk. He did a great job. And so I said, I loved you in The Bridge. He goes, man, I love doing that show. I wish we'd done a third season. I still DM all the producers of that show and the directors. I said, no way, really? He goes, yeah, we still have a D&D game we run every few weeks.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wow. He goes, I met him when I was doing the show, and it turned out they all played D&D. And so we started. And so he was a nice guy, super nice guy. So
that's cool.
I met Matt Mercer, but I met Matt Mercer, but I wouldn't say I met Matt Mercer. It was a meet and greet. Hello, how you doing? So I didn't really get a chance to talk to him. But,
right.
But I've never heard anything bad about Matt Mercer at all. I mean, I think he works hard too. I think he's a hard worker with what he does. Speaking of Matt Mercer, whatever happened to the game they were going to come out with? Daggerheart, right? What was it called? Daggerheart, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Daggerheart?
I don't know. I don't think I backed it, so I don't know.
Me either. I don't know, but I know people were I know Watsy was probably scared as shit of Daggerheart for a while, because those guys are pretty influential in the community. And if Daggerheart had already come out and already done a Kickstarter, I bet it would have made a lot of money. I'm kind of shocked that I have not heard anything about it for the past few months.
Let me look up the release date. Googling the release date. Who the hell knows? They were talking about releasing some stuff for it for Gen Con, but it doesn't appear that they were releasing the our upcoming Daggerheart uses a new system designed for long-term fantasy campaign play with rich options as your characters progress. Previewed at Gen Con 23, we'll be rolling out even more looks at the game leading up to its release. To get a closer look, sign up for a Dragonheart playtest.
So I think what they're trying to do is, and this is probably true of a lot of these guys, is they're going to try to glom off the 50th anniversary. Now that's going to be their big move, is the 50th anniversary, and I think that's all. I think a lot of people are counting on that 50th anniversary stuff, which I'll tell you, I think this was the year to come out, because I look at what Dolmenwood did. I look at what Shadow Dark did, and I don't know. Maybe you'll have a lot of people paying attention next year. So who knows? I could be wrong, but I think the longer you wait on this, the more people aren't really interested in your project. I think the time to strike the iron is hot bullshit stuff is when all this stuff happened. Is when Watsy, wet the bed on the OGL. And I think now that that's in our rearview mirror for a while, I think it's going to be tough for these projects to really get up a lot of interest. I'll tell you something else, Eric. I don't know if you're aware of this. The Shadow Dark books haven't come in yet. They're still on the slow boat from China, literally the slow boat from China, getting in. And I talked to Greg Gillespie, and Dragon Slayer is backed up because of drive-through. Drive-through is like 7 weeks backed up, and I think the shipping's backed up from China. I think that's a big problem right now. Is with a lot of these game companies is there's no. They can send you the PDFs, but unless you print it out yourself, there's no books to back up these game systems. I've seen some really nice homebrew print ups of Shadow Dark people took the PDF and they basically printed their own, Shadow Dart book, which looked really good. But until the real Shadow Dart comes out, I don't know. That still hasn't come out yet. That was supposed to be delivered, I believe, in August, September, and here we are in really, about in December at this point. Through no fault of Kelsey's, by the way. This is all printing issues, and this is what drive-through is going to be going through this also. People who print off drive-through are really worried that, hey, I have a project coming out, and I don't know when it's going to come out because they're backed up for 2 months. They got 2-month backlog. So Mongoose has decided not to go with Orc, roll out a new bespoke license for his OGL like licensing. I can see that because not everybody's on board with Orc.
Right.
I understand that. You make a lot. Look, Joe Goodman figured out proprietary systems are the way to go, right? Because he made a lot of money off 3 and then went all in on 4E, and 4E was an effing disaster. And then that's when he decided, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. I am going to do my own proprietary system. I am not going to care what WotC does. And I think it worked out pretty good for Goodman and DCC. I really do.
Yeah, I think in the end, I think it might have been a surprise. Good came from bad, right?
Yep. Yeah, because, from all accounts, the 4E stuff, I know Joe says differently. From all accounts, 4E stuff just kind of died on the vine, and they went all in. They went all in on that, and because
they had the Level Up magazine that lasted what 3 issues.
He could have decided. Joe could have decided we're not going to sign your license for 4E. We're just going to keep doing what we're going to do, and he probably would have been much better off. But then, if he did that, we probably wouldn't have DCC, because the reason he formed DCC is, look, we need our own system. We can't be glomming off other systems. So. It worked out for him. It
was choice.
Yes, it was. For him, it was. So I think a lot of these, I'll tell you what, Eric, I am absolutely fascinated. I'm so fascinated by the fact that here we are, it's almost December, and we know nothing about what WotC is doing next year.
Oh, they don't.
Zero.
No,
nothing.
They haven't announced a release date. And you know what? I haven't tried trolling Amazon to try to figure one out, but I probably should. But yeah.
Well, but the Amazon dates are all speculative. Those aren't real.
Yeah, but you get somewhere in the ballpark. But yeah, it's. Mr. Gunn says they're going to announce it at PAX Unplugged.
Which one? Which one is that? The spring one?
That's the fall one, I think. He goes, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Well, that makes sense, because that's weird they're not doing it at Gen Con, but it makes sense they're doing PAX. If you know what's going on, that makes sense. Yeah, because I don't know what they're doing, and unless you're an insider or you receive some of the playtest material like friends of ours have, I have no clue what's going on. And look, I think there's going to be a lot of rewrites, because apparently people who got the playtest stuff were just didn't like it. It was created by a committee. Let's put it that way. It was very much created by a committee. It was not created with any spark of knowledge or love or it wasn't created by people who know games. Let's put it that way.
Definitely. Wow.
Yes, DCC is amazing. Not just the funnel. The funnel is a great idea. By the way, that funnel was play tested at North Texas back in our early North Texas days by Harley Strode. It was the people. I remember everybody loved it. Everybody was just going nuts over the funnel. They absolutely loved the funnel. So that was a hit from the word go. That was a very inspired thing there that they did. The funnel.
When the DCC RPG beta rules were out, I didn't like the beta rules. It was clunky. It didn't have soul. And when they released the full RPG, I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun.
That's one of those.
Doesn't like it, but it's a fun game.
DCC is one of those games. If you see somebody running a one shot at a con, jump into that game. It is a great con game. You don't have to know the rules especially if you're playing well level characters and/or funnel characters. You will have an absolute ball. Now, I don't. campaign play, I still don't know how they do that because it's just a weird game. But one shot games, I think it really excels. And I've had people say that the best games they've ever played at cons have been DCC games.
Yeah,
so.
or derivatives. Monster Crawl Classics, the Weird West game, which I can't remember its name right now, but I have on my shelf.
Oh, Weird Frontiers.
There we go. Well, I'm about to say it's like just to my left, and I would need like two hands and a.
By the way, David Beatty was at LongCon that I was at a few weeks ago. A nice guy, cool guy, and everybody says his games were amazing. They said he ran some of the best Weird Frontier stuff ever. So they're gonna so next week. Well, hold on, December 1st. Oh,
they're gonna make some announcements.
Okay, wow.
We'll have to pay
interesting.
Attention.
We're gonna.
And that's not next week. That's this weekend.
That's this weekend. Well, then we'll know next week what they're going to do. I guess. I assume that. I'm not positive.
See.
Interesting.
You never know with WotC.
I'm very interested in knowing what they're going to do because I don't know if they know what they're going to do. So we'll see.
Slack. I had an absolute blast playing in Skeeter's MCC games at North Texas this year. I can see that.
Yeah, Skeeter's a good DM anyway, though. Skeeter could make Tiddlywinks awesome. You'd be like, man, that was some kick-ass Tiddlywinks. The way that we hit those Tiddlywinks. And
with Skeeter, you might have to run for cover with the Tiddlywinks flying around. Just saying, might be a little bit dangerous.
He could run Candyland, and it would be the best Candyland you've ever run. I'll tell you that right now. That'd be one sick version of Candyland, and you would love it. So.
I don't know about that, but all right, let's take Mike at his void. Holy crap!
Man, we managed to talk about nothing for 2 hours. Great.
Yeah, we did really good. Hey, let's do the blood sugar challenge. Dun, 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 dun. Oh! Do you see that number, Mike?
What are you up to?
79.
I can't see it. Dude, you're kind of low there. I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm getting low.
Oh dear God! Oh, I'm a little high. I'm a little high here. Well, I was getting low, and then I ate that pie, and now I'm up to 259. Yikes!
All right.
Time to go get a shot, kids.
So I think that I need to eat, and I think
you need a candy bar. I need a shot. So we definitely.
Thank you for watching Two Old Grogs. Check their blood sugar. This should be what we do at the end of every show. Mike, time to check the blood sugar.
We'll check our blood sugars. Oh my God, what a terrible show that is! Wow. Yeah, God. But yes, we're going to pay attention. I'm really interested to hear what comes out of PAX this weekend. I'm very interested. So yes, we will probably be talking about that next week and some more feedback about. I'm going to do a little more research on the Rule Zero stuff too, because I want to know what more the reaction is among the community, because I didn't really pay attention to what the community was talking about Rule Zero. I know that there was some unhappy grognards, but I want to see what the general consensus of that is too. So
yeah,
we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about all that next week.
All right,
we'll have a guest.
We'll have a guest.
Who knows?
Maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
I'll
look for guests. Yeah, I'll look for guests.
Folks, as always, or at least as usual, be safe, be well, God bless. Roll the dice, roll them well. Thanks to my once a week work spouse, Bad Mike, and thank you all for making this a great show for us.
Yes,
really
great. Wow, we had some great feedback and some big numbers. You're right. This is Luke Gygax's numbers. What's going on?
Yeah. And we didn't have any negative Nellies. It's
I like that part. Yeah,
I liked that. It was nice. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Later, folks.
Later.